The pain that I had for 12 years, the nerve pain, gone, 100% gone. And I was sitting there emotional. I mean, I'm sitting there crying because I'm like, dang, I don't know what it's like to live without pain anymore. And there's no pain in my body. So my name is Josh. I'm a below knee amputee in the left leg. I'm from Milwaukee. I was born in Milwaukee. Come up to La Crosse for their limb lab office. I used to live up here, so it's kind of convenient to come back up here. Christian music, it comes in different styles. There's Christian hip hop, which is amazing. I mean, you're doing, the guys that's their lifestyle is hip hop, but they're putting the Jesus message in it and the positive tune into it. You know, there's Christian rock, you know, the group called Skillet out there. And then there's just regular, you know, everyday, the worship music, you know, different worship styles. Movies, I'm more of a comedy. I love comedies. Like I love Adam Sandler movies, some Will Ferrell movies, you know. I love playing sports, love watching sports. I was playing actually for a while. I'd play softball with church and stuff like that. Gotten into golf recently over the last few years. I just love being able to play it, you know. Watching it, I'll watch it for a little bit, you know. But I watch it to learn though too. Because I'm like, okay, maybe these guys can show me something I'm doing wrong. You know, because when I go in and I can take 10 balls and lose 5 of them while I'm playing, you know, I'd like to get down to losing maybe 1 or 2. But yeah, you know, growing up, I had surgery. My first surgery was, I was 20 years old, 2011, you know. Up to that, living life, doing normal stuff. I was working, playing sports, doing different things. You know, I was homeschooled, so I didn't play any like school sports, but, you know, just with church and stuff like that. Started getting real bad pain in the leg, you know, and it lasted for a while. I'm like, okay, let's go to the doctor, see what's going on. I had my first surgery October of 2011. So I think mainly for that whole year, we were trying to figure some stuff out. See different doctors, had the first surgery. Then again, I mean, 2012, 2013, went through many different tests and stuff, trying to figure this out. 14, finally got to 15, figured out, I think it was like 2015, found out we had the fractured bone. Okay, went in and did surgery then. I've had a surgery now every year since 2016 or 2017. 2017, I had my first nerve surgery, which is, okay, hey, now we found the problem. You know, we did a nerve block in the leg and we found, oh, you have a pinched nerve in your leg. From 2017 to 2024, what had happened is 5 months later, from November 2017, I had a second surgery. 5 months after the first nerve surgery, because the pain was just as bad, if not getting worse. And I want to fix the pain. I want to fix what's going on. Basically, what it was there was still damage in the nerve.
Okay, so what happened from there?
What happened from there is he went in. He did another nerve block that the first doctor did. Well, unfortunately, the nerve was already damaged at that point.
Okay.
It was damaged to a point where it can't get repaired. I came probably two plus 3 years ago to talk about amputation with the doctors.
So that would have been 10 years in, is it?
Yeah, about 10 years in. I came and I talked to doctors at Mayo Clinic up in Rochester to discuss it, you know, and as the doctors called it, they called it a healthy leg. That's what they saw, you know. I could move it, I could move the extremities, I could move my foot, my toes, everything. Everything was moving like normal. The problem was the nerve was so damaged I was falling. I would just randomly fall, getting up off a chair, getting up off the bed, walking downstairs. It didn't matter. Walking at church, walking at the store, it doesn't matter. I'd fall. I was still in pain every single day, you know, and by the time it happened, I mean, I had been in 10 plus pain for 10 years. By the time I decided, hey, this is what we're gonna do, it wasn't a hard decision. It really wasn't. I mean, it's a scary word. Amputation, it's a scary, crazy, like, it seems like a drastic word, but after 10 years, it's no longer drastic. After 10 years, it's probably necessary. There was probably a little bit of fear, to be honest, like, dang, this is really probably gonna happen if she agrees to do this. And, you know, we're a family of faith, you know, and we were praying together as a family one day. And my stepmom said a prayer, said, God, all the doors have been closed. Every single door down here has been closed. If this is the route, if this is the path you have for my life, open the door. Put a doctor in our path that'll do it. And 4 days later, I met with Dr. Lloyd from up here at Mayo Clinic. And she said, "You're not the first one to come and ask me to do this and give you your life back." She's like, "And you're so young." She's like, "And it may go against everything doctors stand for to do an elective surgery." But she's like, "I've seen it. I've seen people get their life back." And she's like, "I'm willing to do it." And at that point, at that very moment, I just took a deep breath. Because I knew, yeah, it's a scary, crazy world, life-changing event. But I knew that, dang, this could take the pain away. And that prayer that we prayed 4 days ago was just answered. You know, the day before the surgery, it got real, really real. Because I met with the doctor. You know, this is what's going to happen here. This is how this will go. This is what needs to take place. I was more relieved. And that sounds weird because you're about to get your leg cut off. But I knew that there was a pretty darn good chance that this was going to be the answer that we've been waiting for. And that prayer, that specific prayer that we prayed 4 days earlier before that appointment, helped so much. Because we said, if this is your plan, God, open the door. 4 days later, the door was open. And when God opens the door, you take a breath and you say, okay.
How did you read?
You know, I was still coming out of the anesthesia, but I kind of looked down. I got enough of my eyes open, and I kind of looked down and I saw the big brace on it. And there was it's weird, there was kind of a calming peace. Like, that thing that's given you trouble for 12 years is gone. I was in the hospital for 8 days. 4 days in the main hospital, or 3.5 or something like that. And then transferred to the rehab clinic hospital. And I was there for 3.5, 4 days. Just healing up. Then I went home. I couldn't do any physical therapy or anything until it fully healed up. So from the time of surgery to about the time that the stitches and staples came out was about 6 weeks. The pain that I had for 12 years, the nerve pain, gone, 100% gone. And I was sitting there emotional. I mean, I'm sitting there crying because I'm like, dang, I don't know what it's like to live without pain anymore. And there's no pain in my body. I would call my family and I'd say, this is insane. There's no pain in my body at all. And you could see it in their voices. They were smiling, they were happy. I'm sure some of them were probably crying. I know my mom was. My mom was so emotional through this whole thing. I was in the hospital a day, you know, and Ryan comes. Ryan from Lib Lab here in La Crosse, and Ryan's the best. I mean, he's amazing. Came in instantly, smile on his face. Dude, he's like, you're young. He's like, we're gonna get you on your feet. You know, I have no doubt about it. We started out on the journey. And then ever since then, I mean, he's been so like into it, like into my story, into my message, with a heart that cares. If you want a heart that cares, I mean, that's Ryan. And he's good at his job, and he's got a heart for people, and it's amazing. I mean, because I have questions. I mean, when you go through this, you're gonna have hundreds of questions, and Ryan will answer every single one of them with a smile on his face. You know, it meant everything. He's like, hey, you got questions? Ask me. Call me from Milwaukee, and ask me. He's like, I'll figure it out. We'll figure something out, you know, for you. He's like, if we got to meet 70 times, he's like, that's fine. We're gonna get you going. So it was weird, but I'm like, okay, you know, you get up and walk, but it's slow. So I got up and I walked around the entire facility that they had. It turned out to be 170 steps in total. She looked at me and she's like, nobody's ever walked 170 steps 2 hours into a prosthetic. The wind kind of feels a little different when you're not in level 10 pain, I'll tell you. So yeah, it's you know, I can smile more. Okay, this is sweet. My leg is gonna be, I'm back, you know. I'm starting to write my story down. I'm typing it out, you know, but I'm gonna put my words on paper, and I'm like, if my words, somebody can read my words, faith or not, if they can read my words and it can motivate them and it can change their hearts to do something, it was all worth it. You know, then the entire 12-year journey, the entire 13-year journey, every single surgery was worth it. There's a lot of this world that's gonna tear you down. There's a lot of this world that's gonna knock you over. But it's like, how many times are you gonna get back up, dust off, and smile? You know? Sometimes smiling and laughing is the biggest weapon we have in life, you know? And some people have forgotten how to smile. For a time, I forgot how to smile. But just smile. See if it's contagious. See if it can spread, and just love. I'm talking about genuine love for another human being, because that's one thing the world's forgotten too. With my story, there's hope. You know, I put a specific verse on the back of my leg. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. What can you do to change somebody's life through your situation?